Oh. Hi, my name is Olivia. Welcome to my bedroom floor. I am going to give you an intro, giving you an idea of what kind of documenting I do to better your understanding of why my gear setup is the way it is. But if you're not into intros, that's fine. There's a timestamp. I totally get it. Just skip ahead and listen to me talk about gear. If you are into intros, then my style of documenting is more vlog style. I like to kind of just shoot things as I go, get B-roll, and then chat on the way. But I also try to make it somewhere in between cinematic, that word's really, really overused, but like film-like, I don't know, and then also casual and nostalgic looking. I kind of try to balance the two. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's all, it's all art. I have been filming things and taking photos for a very, very long time, since really I could work a camera.
It's a video.
It's a video.
That being said, I'm not a gearhead, so I'm not going to give you all of the specs of all the gear. I'm going to give you all the things that I know about and that I use, but I just use the things the way that I like to use them. So this is not a technical video. Personally, I travel a lot and I prefer to be able to fit all of my gear into a single backpack. This is a little bit of a chunky backpack, but this is my camera backpack and I can go into that a little bit later in this video. I like to try to capture my vlogs with some sort of feeling that I was feeling in that time and somehow articulate that to my audience, as well as I really like to sometimes incorporate a story. So like I said, in between a vlog and a storytelling film, I like to make things as high quality as I possibly can while kind of getting rid of the need to set up. So I like things that are a little more run and gun style. I like to use things that are very adaptable and very versatile. I also am almost always solo, so I like things that I'm able to take shots of myself in the frame without having to set up, a full tripod every single time, which I do sometimes, but it's not always safe to just leave your camera as you're like walking away for a good shot. Let's get into it. So if you skipped the intro, let me just tell you that I'm not a gearhead. This is not all the specs of all of the gear. I'm just going to tell you what I use that I feel is most versatile and also most lightweight to carry around on a day-to-day basis and why I like these things. So first off, my main camera is this Canon R6 and my only lens, the 15 to 35 zoom lens. So the 15 to 35 gives me a nice wide angle so I can get those wide shots. 35 millimeter brings it in just enough to where I can get some nice portraits if I need to, or get like that shallow depth of field if I need. So it's versatile enough. I am able to kind of work with it. Of course, I'm not gonna get, like a 50 millimeter lens type of portrait, which I do have that lens, but I rarely use it. So my 15 to 35 is pretty much the only lens that I own and use at all. My Canon R6 is a new-ish edition. I've had it for, I don't know, maybe 2 years now, a year, something like that. But prior to that, I used a Canon 80D forever, for a very long time. And I really, really liked it. But this one shoots in log, and I'm just now beginning to learn how to shoot in log and color grade. So that's why a lot of my videos are really funky looking, is because I'm experimenting, I'm figuring it out. We are seeing the learning curve in real time, so just bear with me. If I do sit down and chat to this camera, I will use these mics that I have called Hollyland, and it comes in this little case. Everything that I have, everything is going to be linked below. Even in all of my videos, I have an updated list of what I used or what my current gear list was at that time listed in my description in every single one of my videos. So if you go way back, you'll see like my old setup. But this is really nice because this one has an adapter and it's wireless. It has a little charging port. It's got 2 mics, so in case I have another person chatting with me, which sometimes I do, I'm not always alone. It's got a pretty good range as well, so I can get pretty far back if I need to, and get a wide shot and also still talk to the camera without getting that little like clicky sound or have a wire attached. So that's kind of nice. Otherwise, if I didn't want to pull out my R6, or if I didn't want to carry it, or if I didn't have the room, or maybe they don't allow big cameras, I just will use my phone. iPhones, like some of the newer versions, I don't know which version started it, but they do shoot in log now. So if you do want to shoot in log, cool. If you don't, even better. But they do shoot in log, so I will use this kind of just as a backup last resort, but this was my go-to camera after this one. However, I just invested in this Osmo Pocket 3. Consider me influenced. I saw them everywhere. Everybody was talking about them. Everybody was just shitting a brick over them. And I was like, you know what? Fine. I like vlogging, and sometimes, you know, like I said, this guy is a little bulky. This was the next go-to. I got the creator combo. I just went all in. So it came with this little box, zipper pouch of all of these other add-ons. Basically, this Osmo is really good for just more discreet vlogging, but this also films in log. So I'm still able to get a lot more dynamic range within any of the colors that I want to play with while I'm filming. But again, if you don't use log, you can disregard that. It's really, really user-friendly. I don't mind having a little bit of a learning curve with new gear, but this one was really easy to pick up. You just turn it on this way. And it's got a built-in gimbal, so as I'm walking, it doesn't have that shake, because you can see that this gimbal, as I'm moving, will stay pretty stable. It's got a pretty wide angle. It shoots in 4K, 60 frames per second, and up to 120 frames per second, which is crazy because my ADD didn't do that. So this thing is a powerhouse. Then it comes with this little hard case, which is also really nice because you can clip the mic that it comes with in the combo down here or up here, depending on what you're using. And it has the filters inside that just clip in there because they're magnetic. So anytime I want to put on one of the filters, like the wide angle lens, the Black Pro Mist, there's also ND filters that you can get, and I'll show you those in a second. They literally just, they're magnet. You can put them on and take them off, and it's super nifty. I really like it. It's also got a selfie function, which is, again, really nice because it follows your face, so you can move it around, and it's got this really smooth gimbal outcome. So in the pouch, again, I got the creator combo, so I got like the whole shebang with it. But it came with these two external batteries. The one thing I will say is that it does die pretty quickly, so the external batteries are kind of a must unless you're not really planning on filming too much when you're out and about. Also came with this little mini tripod, so you can set it up, attaches to whatever battery pack that you have, and then you just clip this straight onto here, and then you can just pop it out and set it up wherever. And because it's so small and so discreet, it's really easy to kind of just tuck it away somewhere and get your shot without really worrying about people seeing your giant DSLR out in the wild and like snagging it or something. There's also another attachment for this that I'm heavily considering. It's a magnetic attachment that attaches to the body, and you can just like put it on metal surfaces. So I think that's cool because then you can get all these different really interesting angles. The creator combo also comes with this mic, and it's got both a magnet and also a clip. So all you have to do is turn it on and turn the Osmo on, and both of them are immediately connected. So you don't have to do anything. And for the most part, this is a pretty good mic, and it also has pretty good range. So I've been really liking that. And lastly, here's the ND filters. It comes in a little case with 3 different ND filters depending on how sunny it is outside. If you are new and you don't know what an ND filter is, it's essentially sunglasses for your camera. So say we're going outside. I don't know if you've ever used a camera that's not your phone, because you'll usually automatically fix it. But if you go outside with a camera that doesn't have a built-in ND filter, it will get super, super bright, and you lose so much detail. Everything gets like super white and blown out. And so that's what ND filters do, is basically put on sunglasses and make that less intense. I also forgot to mention that I do have this ND filter for my 35mm, and This one is actually really nice because it's adjustable. So again, I don't want to be outside switching between multiple ND filters back and forth. I just want to be able to use one and be able to switch through this. So this one is a K&F Concept Nano B series, variable ND 2/400, 82 millimeter. I don't know what that means, but it works. So the nice thing is that if you see these little notches right here, I can twist this ND filter back and forth, kind of like if I was focusing with a camera, and it adjusts how much of that ND filter, adjusts the opacity, the ND filter on the lens. So I don't have to switch between multiple, which is super nice. So for about 2-3 years, I've been using this tripod. It's called the Benro Super Slim Carbon Fiber Tripod. I really like this one, except I think it's broken. So I don't know if it's the brand or if mine is just broken, because granted, I do travel a lot. I have to be sturdy. My items have to be sturdy. I'm not super careful with them, which I really should be, but you know, just when I'm running around, I don't think about it. I really need to be more careful, but I don't know if I just broke this one. The thing I like about it is that it's super light. It's maybe 2 pounds. And the only issue is when I'm setting things up, see how wobbly this is? I think it's broken. This thing just straight up falls off. I don't think that's supposed to happen. It's also wobbly up here. So when I pull this up, right, and I try to set up a shot, like you can see it wobble. You can hear it. That's not great. So if I set up the camera and I've got it in the spot that I want, it'll readjust like by a millimeter or two, and it frustrates me so much because I set up the shot the way I want it, and then the tripod like kind of wobbles, and so it gets super frustrating. And that's probably my biggest gripe, as well as these turn mechanisms. It's not that bad, it's just I don't like the turn mechanism. That's just not my favorite way to adjust a tripod. I much prefer like a latch for things. So as I was griping over this, I actually got an email from a tripod company, and I was like, huh, the gods, they heard my cries. Ulanzi, I think is how you say it. I could be totally wrong. Reached out and they sent me 2 tripods. One I'm using, but one I will not be continuously using. I like it, it's fine. I have so many tripods at this point. I only need one. And I'm trying to figure out which one works best for me, but I think it's gonna be this one, because this is the travel overhead video tripod. Something like that. So this is also a carbon tripod. The nice thing about this is this movement here is really smooth, which is really great for any kind of panning shots. And then again, instead of these twist mechanisms to undo the tripod, I have just the latches, which I really like because that's a lot more convenient, a lot quicker. Everything's super sturdy, unlike my Benro, but again, it might just be broken. I'm not sure. I emailed them and was like, do these only work for 2 years? I don't know. So, but everything's latched, and I also like that there's a quick release on here. So right here, you'll see that there's a little button. I just pop that off, and you know my camera would be attached. And then to attach it back, you just pop it back in and then push. And that's it. I like that it's fairly quick to take it on, put it back on. I don't have to worry too much about you know, adjusting it and tightening or anything like that. Like it's just on and off. It's also got this extra ball point, this right here, where I can move this whole part, this whole bit is kind of like really, and it's not so loose that it shifts, so that wherever I put it, that's where it stays. And that's what I need from a tripod, is wherever I put it, that's where it stays. That is the overhead video tripod by Ulanzi. I am liking it. My only downsides compared to my Benro is that it is bulkier. So this is really, really slim, as the name hence the name. It's super slim, and this one is, I want to say maybe about 5 pounds. This one's about 2. So that's my only gripe. My only gripe. Otherwise, everything else about this one, I feel like there's a lot more dynamic range that I can get with this one. This one is a little more basic. There's a lot more, you know, bits and bobs that I can play with and probably get a little bit more out of. And it also has 4 different parts right here that I can adjust instead of only 3 on this Benro. And that means that this one gets a lot taller. Not that I'm very tall, but if I really want really tall overhead shots, or, you know, if maybe my lens is still too cropped, I can get a little further, which I think is super nice. And that's my basics. Those are the things that I will always reach for. But I'm gonna go into some accessories now, just in case, because sometimes accessories are super helpful. First accessory, this is the Joby Gorilla tripod. I'm sure you've seen this. It's more of just like a backup of like, oh, I need a tripod, but something that's like minimal. I know that I want to grab, you know, my Canon or something, and I want to set it up for some walking shots, but I don't want to bring my full tripod. Maybe I don't have room, or I don't want to make it that much of a spectacle. Something a little smaller. This is also nice because I can wrap this around things, you know, like if there's like a railing or something, and I can get a little interesting with this. My other accessories are these 2 Sunfo RGB lights. So these are really helpful for when I'm filming in a place that's a little too dark and I need some lights, or I want to get something that's like a creative lighting shot. And these are nice because, you know, you can plop these onto any kind of tripod, so I can use these and set these up. I can even put them on the top of my camera if I need like just that stark forward lighting. I lost my diffusers for this, so if you get these, don't lose your diffusers. Because I can't get replacements, apparently. I've emailed and I've looked and I can't find them, so I don't know where. But these are fun because you can turn these on and they, you know, it's just extra light if it's too dark, or they can change colors, so you can have all the different colors that you could possibly think. You can make them brighter or dimmer. There's different settings for police lights, or like you're at fireside, or as if you're watching a TV, or if it's fireworks or lightning, or all these different random things. I actually used these lights in this shot where I basically just put them on to get this silhouette behind this like frosted bathroom door that I really liked. So these are really fun just to kind of have, and they're just helpful, and they're pretty lightweight and pretty easy to just take around, and pretty versatile. Gaffer's tape. This looks like electrical tape. It's not. It's called gaffer's tape. And everything linked below as per usual, but this comes in handy for no reason a lot of the time. Like, it's not even always for filming. It just comes in handy. It doesn't leave any residue, and it's pretty strong. So, you know, if I wanted to like tape one of the lights on the wall or something, I could do that without being worried about leaving residue. Or sometimes I have taped my phone to the ceiling or to things, and it works. It's fine. It's relatively affordable, and you can buy them kind of like in packs of 4. Just keep in mind that there is this size, the travel size, and there's also like a big bulk size. So just know what size that you're buying, because I've made that mistake before. I do have a drone, but I don't really use it very often because, I don't know, I think it's just one more bulky thing. And then on top of that, I also have to bring the other batteries and the controller. And if I'm bringing this and my big DSLR, to me, that's just too much. Unless I'm like planning to fly the drone somewhere, I don't really use it. There's a lot of laws and regulations around flying drones. So unless I'm like absolutely sure that I can, and I am planning to fly the drone, which is very rare to have both, I just don't bring it. Okay, my last camera gear adjacent thing is my backpack. This is a Sunny 16 backpack. This is kind of like my go-to out and about backpack. If I'm gonna be out for hours, I know I'm probably gonna film something, or if I just wanna like carry a bunch of stuff, I kind of like how, you know, very travel-y it looks. It's also made of canvas, so, you know, it can get sprinkled on, it can get rained on a little bit, and it's not a big deal. They do have a waterproof one. I had one and I loved it. It's like all black and it's waterproof and it's amazing. But it got stolen 2 years ago, so I don't have it anymore. But I do have this one, and I really love this one. It is a camera backpack, so it's got the whole back that completely comes off, and they do come with like these dividers that you can put your gear in and separate it a little bit. And then on the back, it's got 2 pockets. I can fit, I think my laptop is like 16 inches, so I can fit my laptop in here as well as an iPad or a book or whatever else I want. It's also got this side pocket zipper for camera, easy access, just to pop it in and take it out. I actually usually put my camera at the top. I don't know why. It's just easier for me. That's just the way that I like it. But on the side, there's like a spot for SD cards. And then on the top, we have a zipper here, pocket, and then an extra mini mesh pocket, and then just like kind of a top access. On the side, you know, you can either use your water bottle, or there's like a strap for a tripod. And then one of my favorite things about this is it's got like a belt for suitcases. So you can just slide the handle of the suitcase and it doesn't move. It's super nifty, and especially when you're carrying gear, it gets really heavy. We've got a little secret pocket down here. So usually I put, you know, like any cash or like just things that I don't want people grabbing from, maybe like these pockets out here. And then on the bottom, we've got some straps for tripods. I also use this one for the tripod for the most part, unless I know I'm gonna like be setting it down a ton, then I just stick the tripod in there. And this one's just a cute last bit, but my friend who does leather crafting, she made me this little SD card holder keychain. I really like it. Okay, well, that is my travel gear setup. Let me know if you have any questions or comments, but basically, honestly, as long as you know how to use your gear, that's gonna be the biggest thing. So if you are really, really good at filming with your phone, that's fine. I know plenty of YouTubers who film on nothing but their phone and their footage comes out fantastic. So as long as you know how to use what you're working with, that's the biggest thing. I personally think that working with minimal gear is better, just because then you know your gear so well that you know the limitations, but you also know how to kind of like maneuver around those. Having too much gear, in my opinion, gets overwhelming for me. So I like things that are pretty straightforward, really versatile, but I can kind of like work around if I don't have, you know, all the fancy gear that I need at the time. Honestly, I could probably do a lot of videos on like travel things, because, you know, I'm constantly moving around. So I could probably do like a what's in my bag for my sketchbook traveling. I could probably do something for all of my toiletries. Like, it's wild. Yeah, if you liked this video, go ahead and give it a like. Apparently that helps if I remind you, and, you know, the algorithm. So give it a like. I do have a Patreon if you're interested in that. I do like extended cuts of vlogs. I also do exclusive videos and readings. I post like wallpapers out of my photography. I post a ton of things on my Patreon, to be honest. So if that's something that you're interested in, go ahead and check that out. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any tips or what you use. Or if you're just starting, if you have any questions, just leave them down in the comments below and I will try to get back to you. But thanks for watching. I hope that this helped, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.